Good morning, good Saturday to you, Let Boats for Life here, and today is the final day that I received my new Ruger sp-101 and 327 Federal Magnum. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up the box, take a look at it. I'll lay it down right like so, and all my paperwork, my receipts, those I always keep for records. Alright, let's turn it around a little bit here and we'll take a look at it. Alright, so naturally it comes with a lock, and it comes with a gun. As you see here, I haven't took it out of the bag yet. This is the first time you're witnessing it, so you see a lot of oil on it, you know, and from looking at it close, it's going to need a little bit of a buff job, which is fine. I'll go ahead and put some mother's polish on it, and then once I tear it apart, I'm going to start doing the polishing on the insides, trigger, hammer, parts like that are moving, make it smoother, and then later I'm going to add the M-Carbo spring kit that I purchased online, and it's going to make the hammer trigger more smoother, and the springs are about, I think, 9-pound mainspring, 10-pound mainspring, and I believe it's going to be a 7 or 8-pound return spring, rebound spring. But yeah, this is the first time I've touched it. It's got, of course, the storage grease all over it. So, all right. Of course, it's unloaded. It's got the, the Ruger signature flag in there. Now it's a 6-shot revolver, 327 Magnum, and it's a nice little package. It's really small. It fits good in the hand. I love the grips on it. It fits really good. So the trigger is a little rough and heavy, so that's the reason why I'm going to take it apart and smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so right off the bat, guys, this is not going to be an instructional video. It's just going to be me taking off the parts of the gun to polish up the insides. Okay, so we'll go ahead and use a safety pin to remove the mainspring from the housing. If I can get that in there. Okay. Well, maybe the baby pin wasn't the right tool to use. Alright. Okay. Mainspring housing is going to be the point pointing toward me. And then remove the hammer. Okay, and then right behind where the mainspring housing is, there's a little button there that's going to release the trigger. I'll just go ahead and push that in, and that removes it. Okay, so we got the Ruger tore apart already, and guys, it wasn't easy. There's so much burrs in the pins. It took a strength of a mule to get those out of there. The trigger assembly was rough. Getting the recoil spring plunger out was rough, and so I already just got finished polishing that up with some mothers. Got nice and smooth again. And inside the channel there, where the return spring goes, trigger return spring goes, there's burrs right in there. Alright, so we got our 1/4" drill bit, and what we're going to do is just go in here by hand, and we're just going to remove some of the burrs in here. You can feel a little bit of chugging. Also, don't go too far. Matter of fact, you can see some of the chips right now sticking out. which is right in here. Get that nice and cleaned out. Took a baby pin and pushed out the plunger. Because of all the rough burrs inside, it was really hard to get out, so I had to go back and forth, finally came out. Now I'll get some of those burrs out of there, clean them up. So we'll do a little bit of polishing and then we'll get back with you on the results. Okay, I just got finished polishing up the rebound spring casing area, the plunger, polished that up. These are all nice and polished. Took a little bit of a small 1/4-inch drill, go back and forth, finished it up with some 1000 grit sandpaper on a drill bit like so, and just went back and forth little by little. Took a piece of paper towel and just went inside, took all the burrs out. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like. So here's the plunger. Goes back like that. Just drops right in. Just drops right in, and then falls right out just like that out of my hand. Beautiful. All right, a couple of things got polished. So we did a little polish on the hammer there, as you can see. It's and this is all done by hand, guys. So a little labor of love to get your trigger to pull smoothly. Okay, no sanding involved, just polishing. Alright, and that's the hammer, so let's look at the triggers. Same with the trigger just gleaming right there. Very good. No sanding at all, guys. Just a little polishing job. Q-tips, a little paper towel or some cotton cloths will work just fine. Okay. And that's all you need to do, just a little polishing on the contact points to get your trigger and your gun to shoot smoothly without a lot of creep and a lot of grittiness. Alright, let's move on. Okay, with all my new revolvers, I always, with stainless steel, I always put mother's polish on the front of the cylinder to get a little bit of sheen to protect the cylinder, and it'll be easier to clean once you fire the gun. Alright, a little bit of mother's goes a long way. Just polishing all you're doing, polishing, polishing, polishing. No removing metal, taking off all the factory oil off it. And that'll help your cylinder run smoother as it rotates. Alright, so right now we're going to add a little bit of lube on the cylinder pin. Okay, so it's been 6 hours of removing parts, polishing by hand. I didn't use a Dremel or a drill to polish the parts. I don't think it was necessary. Fortunately, when you get the gun, it's going to be extremely gritty. It's going to be unpolished. It's going to have a very poor trigger pull on it, single action and double action. And you might find some imperfections, and I'm going to show you right now. If you look close at this, you'll see gouges right there with the thumb releases. And those gouges cannot be buffed out. Then there was something. I pulled out the rebound slide plunger and spring, and I looked inside the where the crane fits into the slot. It looked like a spring in there, and what it wasn't a spring. It was actually a shaving that was in twirls. And so I pulled that out, and I ran a dry patch through it. And then from there, I took some, and then once the grit went away, I took some 1000 grit sandpaper, wrapped it around the bit, and I just slowly twisted it, went back and forth, twisted it. You know, just slowly but surely. From there, added some mother's polish, and just hand polished it. You know, not too mirror shine, but just enough to get the burrs out, and just enough to get the plungers to slide in and out. So I put the 7-pound spring in it, looped it up. It's got the trigger assembly set up. Also, the trigger also has now, it has two 1/1000ths of an inch spacers, or I guess you can call shims on each side. So it took up the slack. The hammer has two 5/100ths of an inch thickness, or 1,000th of an inch thickness of the shims on each side, which makes it 20 thousandths of an inch on both sides. So there's no, so you're not going to have any drag marks. Okay, and it wasn't that tight, you know. It's just smooth as butter. This 6 hours I spent on a handgun. This $700 handgun is now, it's got about, you know, it's a $300 trigger job on it, you know, by doing it yourself versus having a performance center do it for you. You know, if you got the money, yeah, go have a performance center do it for you. But as far as the gun itself, there's, you know, quite a few little dings or gouges. This is the only one I saw here so far. Nothing else. You know, you got some machining marks, of course, on the body itself. So I polished up the gun, and it kind of hid those swirls. You know, they're still there, but it's nothing to cry about. You know, it's a handgun meant for shooting. It's probably gonna get dinged up and scratched up over the years when I use it. But you know, little mother's polish will keep it up. And even the crown, guys, the crown was is really nice. It wasn't burred up or anything like that. Some of the guns have burrs on them, you know, so you get those burrs out of there. And once a bullet leaves the barrel, if there's a burr in there, it could actually affect the accuracy of the handgun itself. But guys, I'm really anxious to go fire it as soon as I get a chance to. So guys, if you like what you see, please rate, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more upcoming videos. Lead Bullets for Life, thanks for joining me today. You have a good weekend. We'll see you at the next video. Bye for now.